Hello students, welcome to Pathak's Computer Academy online classes. In the previous video, we learned about what is SQL, that is Structured Query Language. Today we will see one of the database that is MySQL. Okay, so the contents today we covered introduction about MySQL, then how to install MySQL, and at the end, what are the data types in MySQL can be used. So, MySQL is an open source RDBMS software. Okay, so first of all, you have to know what do you mean by open source. Open source means it is free of cost. You can download from their site without giving any money. Second thing, the code, or you can say that the source code of MySQL is open to everyone. If anybody wants to see or wants to modify, then they can give their suggestion to MySQL authorities. They will recognize, they will check whether your saying is okay or not. And if your thinking is correct, then your ideology will be accepted and incorporated in MySQL software. This is the meaning of open source. Second point is that MySQL uses structured query language. Okay. For every software that has to be run, there should be a language, and that language in DBMS is SQL. Every database follows the rules defined by SQL. So, as we know that to work with computers, we need commands or program. Similarly, MySQL also requires commands that should be executed, and that commands are known as query. With the help of query language, we use the database and manage the database. Okay? And that query language is SQL that I already discussed in the previous lecture. So some advantages of SQLs are, as we know that SQL is an English-like language, so it is very easy to learn. Second thing, SQL is not a case-sensitive language. So either you have written in capital letter or small letter. Both are considered as same in SQL. But data should be, or data taken as case sensitive. If you have inserted your name, for example, Himanshu, and where H is capital. So whenever you want to extract the information about Himanshu, then you have to supply the correct structure, that is capital H, then all the letters are in small. But for using commands, for example, create, create command is used to build the table or database. So create can be written either in capital letter or small letter or mix up of both these. There is no such difference. Second thing, data can be easily retrieved. Third, how to define the structure is also very convenient, and various statements are available. Data manipulations, if you want to manipulate the data, it is also be taken care of SQL very effectively. And at the last, if you want to apply some rules and regulations to the data, that can be easily incorporated in SQL. So these are the advantages of SQL. Now I'm going to further discuss MySQL in detail. As we discussed that MySQL is an open source. Second thing is it is fast and reliable, RDBMS. Just like any other database like Oracle, Sybase, MS SQL Server, and many more. So, some features are it is open source and free of cost. It can be installed and run on any types of hardware as well as any type of operating system, either Linux, Windows, Mac, etc. So it is very easy. Third thing is it creates secure database. Nowadays, security is the main concerns for data. Why? Because data are keep on picked by the thieves. And at the last, MySQL can be connected with the various programming language as a backend. If you are creating a website or any application, then data is to be kept for various reasons. For example, if you want to save the information about the customer, then MySQL provide this very effectively and efficiently. So these are the features of MySQL that creates MySQL very popular. Now, how to install MySQL? It is very easy. As we know that it is open source software, so you can easily download by the following link. You have to go to the website of MySQL, then go to the downloads. So here, if I am going to open that command, so I'm going to click that website. It will open in your browser. Here you can see that dev.mysql.com downloads. So the download section will be opened. Here you can see this MySQL installer for Windows. You have to click on that. Okay. If you are using Windows, as I am using Windows, So here MySQL installer will be shown to you. Okay. And you have to click on download button. As I have already installed, so you can see that here MySQL installer community 8.0.27.1 is, is stored in your computer. Now I have to initiate, then it will automatically install in your computer. And whenever you go with the start menu, you have to type MySQL. Then all the related installed things are appear to you. Okay. So here I have already opened MySQL. So this is the overall IDE for MySQL, where all the schemas are presented over here. Query can be written in this part. Whatever the executed things are shown to in this place, in the lower part of the IDE, and various things that will be discussed in the next video. How to create the database, how to create the tables in the database, how to insert the data, and how to fetch the data, and at last, how to manipulate the data. We will see later on. Okay. So these are the information. Second thing is, after downloading, it install and start MySQL services from the services.msc. Okay. So if MySQL is not initiated automatically, you have to start the services of MySQL by yourself, that is manually. So you have to run on the command prompt services.msc. A dialog box will appear where you can see all the services that are available in your computer. You have to search MySQL and then right click on MySQL and start that services. For example, like that. Go to this. You have to write down services.msc, entered. It will open a new dialog box. Here. So all the services are shown to you. You have to search MySQL here, MySQL 8.80. So here you can see that the status is running. If it is not running, then you have to right click and start and stop whatever you want. Okay. So by doing this, you can easily install MySQL in your system. Now further moving on, the last topic of MySQL for today, that is data types. So MySQL supports the defined SQL data type by the ANSI. ANSI is American National Standard of Institute. So first data type is numeric data type. And in that numeric data type, there are three things. That is, either you can use integer or only int. With the help of this data type, you can store 11-digit long number. Second thing is small int. Small int used for smaller number up to 5 digit. And at last, if you want to store decimal numbers, then you have to use float in bracket m comma d. Okay, m for mantissa, d for decimal, or you can use decimal, or you can use numeric. Three things is to be given, but most of them float is to be used. So here m is the total length of your number, including dot and decimal part. So if I have written float in bracket 10 comma 2, so including decimal point, there should be only 10 digits or lesser than that. Otherwise, it will show you an error like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.89. So it will include how many digits? 7. Point is also included 8, 9, 10. So that can be acceptable. But beyond that, data will be discarded and error will shown to you. Next is, if you want to store date and time, then that is also possible, but the format is like this. First of all, you have to supply year, then month, and then date. And between these, hyphen is to be used. Like this. 10th of June, 1983. Time is also stored like this: hour, colon, minute, colon, second. Okay. The next thing is, if you want to store the character or collection of character, combination of characters, then char or varchar can be used. Char is used for fixed length string, while varchar means variable length. Okay, that's why varchar. And the maximum limit is 255 characters. Why? Because we are using ASCII format, and in ASCII format, every digit can be represented as 8-bit, that is 1 byte. That's why if you calculate 2 to the power 8, then it will show you 256. That's why including 0 up to 255 characters. Second thing, you have to be very careful that whenever you use date and time or string or any character, you have to enclose the data between single quotes or double quotes. Okay. This has to be taken care of. Now, in exam or in interview or in Viva, there is a question question arises that what is the difference between fixed length string and variable length string? It means, let us take an example. If I have taken char 10, okay, and another person uses varchar, and again the size is same, that is 10. So if one person added the character, like for example, Arun, okay, so it have 4 characters, but as you know that char is a fixed line string, so it will generate the memory of 10 character storage, but here only 4 characters are there, and all 6 space for 6 characters are waste. But when you have used varchar, then only 4 to store 4 characters, memory is allocated to that data. Thus, wastage of memory is saved while using varchar. So always use varchar when you are not confirmed that data are of the same size. If you are very confident that data will become at the same size, then care is to be taken. For example, if there is a column for gender and for female you have to save F and for male you have to save M. So here char data type is to be used. Why? Because only one character will come every time. Okay. So this is the basic difference between char and varchar. So that's all for today. Today we will learn what is MySQL, how to install MySQL in your system, and what are the basic data types that can be used when you are dealing with MySQL. There are, other than this, a lot of data types available, but for your course, these things has to be sufficient. So that's all for today. In the next class, we will discuss DDL commands, that is how to structure the database with the help of MySQL database will be discussed. I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you very much.